Hi everyone, I recently was at the Como Zoo. I focused mainly on the Tropical Encounters exhibit, um, and I tried to assess it based off of animal welfare, education, and conservation. So, in regards to the exhibit, I felt that the animals, in particular the tropical area, did not have a suitable environment that I would imagine fit where they used to live. For example, the rainbow snake was kept in a cooler, an old cooler, with a glass top. It just didn't, with a little mulch at the bottom for it to land. It had no space to really completely extend its length. And I just thought that was a little odd to me that that's what they chose to keep a snake in. Another thing I realized, there were a lot of man-made cases from Tupperware or whatever for different amphibians. Frogs were kept. It was kind of like they caught a frog in the backyard, like a little boy, and threw it into something that mom and dad had at home. So it's a little different for me to see that. The larger animals, such as the anaconda, had a larger space to be, but I realized that it never moved. It laid in the back corner away from the glass. There was a pond where it could be in the water, kind of to probably simulate similarities between where it's usually living in its actual habitat. Um, but as a whole, I can't say that there was enough space for the animals to be. I will say the keepers were very passionate about keeping their animals comfortable and in a suitable environment, and I have no doubt in my mind that they have every best intention to give these animals a lovely life in the zoo. But as a whole, I wasn't too impressed, to be honest, on the housing situation for the animals. As for education, there wasn't much interactive exhibits. It was a lot of small plaques. Actually, the snake in the cooler had a clipboard pinned to the inside of the cooler that had an old piece of white paper, and written on it was a description of why it's called the rainbow snake. And it never really went into detail what they eat, where they live. It was mostly just why they call it, because when the sun shines on it, it changes rainbow colors. So I was a little disappointed to see that there was not much interactive education that kids could learn from, or myself. I really had to look into the exhibit to find the small plaques, to find this sheet of paper. I hoped that they would focus on maybe presenting their information on each of their species a little better, but that wasn't the case either. To me, it's not really clear what type of conservation efforts are in mind for the Como Zoo. I know Como Zoo has more to offer than the zoo. There's Como Town, there's the amusement park, and I feel that it's really just an attraction for entertainment for families. And it sounds great, everything's great. It's a wonderful place for families to be, and I'm sure kids love to be around the animals. They get to interact with them a little bit. The sloth there gets to just hang freely and birds fly, and it really is awesome. But in the end, I don't think it's the best environment for animals. I'm not saying that the Como Zoo should not be around or that you shouldn't go, but I just feel after learning more about the welfare of animals that this is probably, this exhibit in particular that I focused on, is probably not the most suitable environment for these animals. And I hope that the Como Zoo maybe can find different ways to make the exhibit more educational and increase the space and well-being for these animals. I really hope that they start making maybe more suitable areas to live that aren't objects that you can find at home. I think it's weird to bring a cooler and decide to throw a huge snake in there, or have a Rubbermaid box and throw turtles in there and other snakes. I just think it's wrong. But like I said, I'm not saying this to not go to the Como Zoo. I just had a hard time understanding their conservation and education values at the zoo. Thanks.